So 4 years ago, my church came up with a program called Come Follow Me. And every week there was a lesson for us to study at home, either with our families or by ourselves or with our spouses. So every week I studied those Come Follow Me lessons. And every week I spent a lot of time in the scriptures. And I've noticed what's happened over the course of 4 years. And I've learned a little bit more about Jesus Christ, and I've learned a little bit more about what Christ can do to our hearts and what he can do to heal our hearts and to bring peace to our lives. And there's a movement going on right now that is anti-church, anti-organized religion. It is pointing the finger at church and saying, all you hypocrites, you judgmental jerks. There's no love in the church. Come away from that church that's ruining you and love Jesus the way we love Jesus. And I want to say that it's false. It's a false statement because there's a scripture in John 6, where some people left Jesus and they're not walking with him anymore. And it says that his disciples weren't with him anymore. And he said to the other 12, will you also go away? And Simon Peter said, well, where would we go? We know you're Jesus Christ. And where else would we go? And I feel like that's what the world is screaming is get out of organized religion. They're the worst. But they're not presenting me Jesus. They're not giving me Jesus. They're giving me a lot of people who are angry and who are finger pointing. And I think we're being tricked. We're being tricked into thinking that in order to love people, we have to hate other people. And that in order to love maybe the people that feel marginalized, that we have to hate the people that we think are marginalizing them. And that's not Christ's gospel. That's not what Jesus Christ ever taught us. And when we look at the woman who was caught in adultery, what happened? The Pharisees, the hoity-toity Pharisees that thought they were better than everybody else, and the scribes, what people might call organized religion at the time, came and said, what are you going to do with her? What do you think? She should be stoned. And what did Christ do? He sat and he wrote on the ground for a little while. And I've thought about this a lot, and I've thought, why did he do that? And I think he was giving them some time to be mad. I think he was giving them some time to say what they thought. Because I think Jesus understands emotion. He understands anger. He understands sadness. He understands all the things that we find frustrating in this world. And after that time period, after drawing in the dirt for a little while, he didn't stand up and start pointing at the Pharisees and saying to each one, well, you know what you did last week? Do you know what you did last week? He didn't get up and point at anyone. He told everyone, look at yourself. He who is without sin cast the first stone. And everybody was repented and walked away. And then he looked at the woman and he said, where are your accusers? And she says, there aren't any. And he says, I don't accuse you or condemn you either. Go your way and sin no more. And this is the other lie that's being told to the world is that do everything you want. Jesus just loves us. And it's true. He loves us nonstop forever and ever. But he also said, go and sin no more. He didn't say there's no commandments. Just do whatever you want. You'll be happier there. He says, you know what? Maybe I know a little more than you, and I know things that are going to make you happy and things that aren't. And so one of the things that's going to make you happy is to stop being mad. Does that make sense? It does make sense. He says, blessed are the peacemakers. He comes to bring us peace. He comes to bring us life more abundantly. And what I found over the last 4 years is that without Jesus Christ, I'm nothing. I'm sadder. I'm madder. I don't forgive. I'm a worse person. And when I turn to the scriptures, I soften up. What did I learn in the New Testament for the whole year of studying the New Testament? I learned about an incredible man who walked this earth, who was the Son of God, who taught us all to be better. And the influence that he made in 3 years change the whole course of humanity. Like, what can I be doing better to influence people for good in my short time on this earth, right? And in the Old Testament, what did we see? I was like, oh, the Old Testament's crazy. It's crazy. It's full of just crazy stories. And this time through it, a whole year in it, hours and hours and hours a week in the Old Testament preparing these lessons, what did I learn? I learned about a God who gives us a million chances. And when people are rotten to him and they forget him and they do all the things, he just says, my arms are outstretched still. He just wants us to turn to him. He just wants us to look towards him again and stop believing the stories that organized religion and that church is the worst and it's full of a bunch of horrible people who are just judging everyone and not loving, because it's not true. And it was in organized religion that I went on a day I did not want to go, and I was so angry. I was so angry and my heart was broken and I was so mad. And I had felt so betrayed. And I went to church and I didn't want to go to church. And in one of the lessons in the group where all the women meet, they read a quote that said, if you want to forgive, ask the Lord to show you what they see in this other person. And I went home and I said that prayer. And I saw what the Lord saw in that person. And my heart was softened. And in a weekend when I should have been wanting to throw bricks through windows, I just wanted to go over and give that person a hug and apologize. And I just wanted to love again. That happened at organized religion. When my dad died at 48, organized religion set up dinners and someone came and cleaned our pool for free and someone came and painted our house and people helped us move and brought us meals. And when my sister got cancer, the same thing happened. When I had cancer, everyone rallied around. When I was on bed rest in a brand new congregation, I had people calling, can I take your kids to church? What can I do to help you? Christmas of 2021, my sister-in-law died of cancer on Christmas morning. And for 6 months before she died, organized religion brought meals like 4 or 5 times a week for 6 months so that we could help tend to her and take care of her. At organized religion, I'm past a clipboard. Who can I help? Go do this. We're helping out at this place. Whatever it is that we're asked to do that week, I find that at organized religion. Nobody gets up there and tells me to hate people. At least not in my congregation and not in my church. It is not my doctrine to hate. And people who are saying so are not speaking truth. I am taught to love. I am taught that Jesus Christ can soften our hearts, and he does soften our hearts. He's softened mine. And over 4 years course of time in studying, I have learned that this personal Jesus can make my life so much better. All these people that are demanding this exodus and this is so wrong or this religion's the worst, I don't see you bringing me anything but expensive backpacks and cookbooks. What are you offering me? I watched a movie tonight that said that truth is quiet and lies are loud, and that the gospel is simple, and I believe that to be true. Good people are out in the trenches helping the people that they're worried about. Good people are in organized religion. Good people are outside of organized religion. But we need to stop pointing at the church and saying it's the worst, because Satan's laughing all the way to the bank. Because he's getting all of us all riled up. Yeah, it is. And nobody is taking the time to just look at themselves and say, man, I should probably stop casting stones and walk quietly out of the room. Christ told us to be peacemakers. He said, blessed are the peacemakers. He says, I come to bring peace, not as the world gives, but as I give. And what I found over 4 years of intensely studying the scriptures is Jesus. I have found a personal friend. I have found a person who, when things are hard and nobody understands, he does. And where do I find him? I find him in the scriptures. I find him in good people. And yes, I find him in organized religion. So I just want to say that we need to stop being, all of us, the people outside that are pointing at the church, the people inside that are, we all have to stop being Pharisees, and we all have to remember that scene. Christ let them be mad for a minute, and then he said, look at yourself. Look at yourself. If all of us just looked at ourselves and said, what can I do better? How can I be better? How can I love more? Because loving more does not mean hating. It sounds silly to say, but it's true. In order to love you, I don't have to hate somebody else. Truth is quiet and lies are loud, and it's a sad fact, but it's true. So I'm not going to have comments on this, and you probably didn't even watch it till the end, so it doesn't matter. But I'm not having comments because I don't want people to fight. I don't want people to get on and say, oh, well, you never, well, did you know? I don't want it. I just want to get out there and say that Christ is good, and people in religion are good. And you can be good outside of religion, but there isn't this place that all the people are saying, love like I do. I love like Jesus. There isn't this place that all of those people are going. It's a trick. And I don't even think we know we're being tricked. So that's all.